Ryza? Agatha! What did I do this time? Hold on. I'm not here to yell at you. Huh? You're not. I thought for sure it was the same as... anyway, how can I help you? The same as... What did you... No, never mind. I need you to do me a favor. You do? Well, not me exactly. The fishermen down at the port, they... It's faster if you hear it from them. Come on. Has everyone heard that she only catches immensely large fish?
Oh, this is how we get the fishing rod.
Yep, but most likely this is it. Lately I've been hearing a lot about this alchemy you've been getting involved in. So, you require my services, huh? It feels good to be needed, you know? Don't let it get to your head. Okay, go ahead and explain it one more time.
If she can fix it, I'll explain it 100 more times. You see, we can't catch any fish. Wait, no, he should be a pirate. All fishermen are pirates.
You mean like you had a bad haul?
That's putting it mildly. Lately, all the fish have been up and disappeared from all of our usual fishing spots.
That sounds like a voice that someone with a giant bushy beard would have.
He has a secret beard. He pulls off his mask as soon as he's out on open water and the beard just flows.
Oh, so it's not just you. All the fishermen in town are having trouble.
That's right. We changed our nets, tried new spots, everything, but so far nothing's worked. We've all but given up. My grandpa's the oldest guy here, and he says he ain't ever seen anything like it.
Oh, is that the grandfather? No, never mind. Someone else.
I think it was just NPCs.
I thought he turned from him and I thought that it was going to be his grandfather yelling over, but it wasn't. What do you think, Ryza? Any chance you could do something about this? The only thing that really comes to mind is maybe I could make a really powerful bait.
We're willing to try anything. We don't care. Please, we've got mouths to feed.
All right. Then I, Ryzelyn Stout, alchemist at large, will do what I can. I know I'm the one who asked you in the first place, but are you sure you can help? I'm sure. I already have an idea for what kind of bait to make. All I need to do is get to work. It's not something you could make normally, but with alchemy, it might just be possible. Well, whatever you've got in mind, just get it done, okay?
I do like the idea of us just, like, making a really big bomb.
Blowing all the fish out of the water? No!
Just like every solution.
You're gonna make the most enticing.
You know what this
worm.
reminds me of?
Huh?
Wait, what? Oh, envision recipe on flour. Okay. Remember we were watching the Scribble Knots and how the guy was using dead lions to solve every single puzzle?
Wait, dead lions? What do you mean?
Yeah, he straight up would, what was it? It was... So Scribble Knots is a series of puzzles, and every time you'd type in something. You know, so it might be like...
Oh, I remember that one, yes.
Wheelchair, and it lets you push grandma across. But he'd always just do adjective, dead lion. And no matter what, it would always solve the puzzle. Because he knew exactly what would work in the situation. I mean, some of them were kind of ridiculous. Like, one was, like, just Eldritch Horror.
How many assets did they have to make in that to accommodate
it was
for
quite a
dictionary?
Lot, from what I remember. But it was hilarious looking. We need some higher quality rainbow grapes. Okay, that ain't gonna work. But that's okay. That's not what I'm here for, sort of.
My method of attracting fish? Wear yellow flippers.
Yep. I don't think these fishermen want to be in the water while they're fishing, though.
Oh, but the fish will literally come up to you and let you hold them in your hands.
True.
But then they'll probably kick their way out if you try pulling them to the surface. When I was young, I'd like to swim with the fish. And they'd come up to me and start pecking at my yellow flippers. And then I'd pet them. They were cute.
Look at how the delicious bait is just fruit. It's just madcap fruit. It's just banana bits.
People ask if I'm a fish tamer. My nickname was the fish when
I
was young. The fish when I was young. I mean, I could hold my breath underwater for quite a lengthy time. I would say probably upwards of like a minute or two. I think the longest I ever held it was nearly 3, but for the most part, I just liked staying underwater all the time. I had my little nose goggles, you know, the goggles with the nose piece on them. And I would just tootle around in the lake seaweed. What would it be lakeweed at that point? I don't know. Whatever grows at the bottom of lakes. I love the Finger Lakes back in New York. Ooh, all done. I've got myself a fishing pole. I'm actually pretty good at fishing, even though I've always just borrowed Dad's poles. Now that I've got one of my own, I can go fishing whenever I want. I'm gonna hook myself a whopper.
A fishing pole can be used as an exploration item. Find certain areas in the field where you can go fishing. Make sure your fishing pole is equipped and then catch some fish. Notice what you might catch. You might even haul in an impossible whopper of a fish. If you find a spot to fish, give it a shot.
Yeah. And part of the reason why I loved swimming so much, aside from the fact that I just love exploring underwater, was the fact that you could actually find a lot of man-made objects down there and bring them up. Specifically, the place that my grandparents would rent a cottage from one of their longtime friends. He had an amazing spot on the lake where you could walk out for several yards and the water would still only be up to your waist. And it was just the perfect spot for fish. The fish absolutely loved it there. There were some sandy patches, but for the most part it was just full of various types of algae and reeds and, as I said, the lakeweed, whatever it would be called. So many different types of it too. And I would find mussels, and I'd find, well, let's see, there were bass and perch and sunnies and bluegills and whatever that would look like a blue-eyed catfish, but I think it's actually something else. It actually turned out to be something other than a catfish. But I always called him Mr. Catfish because he had the whiskers on him. And every day I'd go out into the lake and I'd see Mr. Catfish. Because he only ever drifted about 5 feet every single day. He was a bottom feeder, so I'd go out and I'd greet him and he'd come over and sit on my flippers, try eating off of them even though there was nothing on them. And I'd show my cousins Mr. Catfish. And they'd come over and they'd be like, wow, look, it's Michelle's catfish friend. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I'd find a lot of man-made objects too. Whenever we went to a hotel pool, I'd undoubtedly pick up multiple pieces of jewelry, and I always felt proud handing it over to the hotel staff saying, hey, someone lost a ring, someone lost their earrings, someone lost a necklace. That always felt good. They would always be down by the drain. Then what else? I mean, in the lake itself, I found several lures. Once I thought I'd actually run into a giant leech, but it turned out just to be someone's fishing lure.
Oh, right.
Oh. Oh, right, you needed to find the clue to the old paso to defeat the...
No, we just had to kill the...
flower gardeners.
Yep.
Sorry. Rami, we were able to take down that monster of yours. Excellent job. It kept showing up right in the middle of our busiest trade route, so it was a huge pain. Anyway, here's your reward. Since this was a personal request, I added a little extra bonus. Thanks a bunch. I guess this proves that the tales of your heroism were all true. If you ever need us to handle something like this again, all you have to do is ask. Oh yeah? You weren't nearly this enthusiastic when I first asked. Nah, who cares about that?
The adorable wheat girl, crushing monsters with her weedy feet. Now that's a story worth spreading.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
Anyway, if any of my merchant buddies run into any more trouble, I'll definitely get in touch. Thanks again.
Ah, she always knows exactly where to poke at me. Okay, what were other things that I would find? Oh yeah, I found a giant anchor. Okay, well it wasn't a giant anchor. It was an orange-coated rubberized anchor that was meant for probably a canoe or a kayak. It wasn't supposed to hold a boat per se, but it was down fairly deep. I would say about 20 feet, and it was bright orange.
I guess it didn't make any delicious bait, or used it all up.
And my uncle was actually quite interested in acquiring an anchor for the boat. So he's like, hey, can you lift the anchor for us? And so I swam down there, and it was just light enough that I could carry it up to the surface with me, which is actually pretty impressive. Fortunately, it had a little bit of a rope tied to it, so I could lift it up and then extend the rope just enough so that I could have it hauled up the rest of the way. But that was fun. What are other interesting things that I found? Ugh, I don't even want to talk about the dead fish. It's always creepy when you come across a dead fish. Oh, do you remember the giant carp that I showed you?
Yep.
Wander,
you reminded me about it like 2 weeks ago.
Yes. At one of the other locations that my family has rented cottages around Hugo Lake, it was deeper water. Deeper water that didn't have as much underwater, what I call it, underwater greenery, foliage, whatnot.
Vegetation.
The lake vegetation. It didn't have much of that. I was actually really upset that we didn't have quite a nice, shallow region to explore. But I did find this massive carp. And the carp was just dozing at the bottom where the sand was. And he would have had to have been about 4 or 5 feet long, right?
It was big, yeah.
Yep, a massive carp. And then he saw us and swam away. But
he hung out for a while, though.
Yeah, well, I was able to bring my cousin over, and we were able to swim down and get a closer look at him. But yeah, so a lot of interesting fish. I mean, growing up, we personally had fish as pets. My fish, he lived to be 13 and a half years old. I was devastated when he died. That was in high school. I'd gotten him before I'd even gone to kindergarten. Or preschool. I think I maybe got him when I was about 3 or 4.
Oh, she has another side quest for us. Might as well.
People are calling it the Magikarp.
Battle of Beauty.
Carp are amazing. Carp are my favorite variety of fish.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they tend to be quote-unquote plain, but if you think about it, they're a quite varied group, and many of them are...
Oh, he needs 5?
Wait, oh, you need more bait?
Damn it.
They're actually quite long-lived if you take care of them well. Like koi fish. Koi fish are a carp.
I have no idea where to get bugs from. I guess I should probably go see specifically what I need. I used up all my extra bait making a fishing rod.
Oh, would there be any bugs in the spider webs?
Not usually.
Nah, that's usually the restraint silk. Are there any flowers or...
I'm actually gonna just go straight back to the to Atelier for a second. Let's figure out exactly what I'm missing.
Didn't they discover that there was a mussel or a clam that had lived over 300 years or something?
Oh, I needed flour. That's what I needed. Alright, there we go.
That's a bivalve. It's not as nice as a fish.
I think between sessions, or maybe just after we're done tonight, I might just run around in the world gathering a bunch of resources again.
Nah, that makes sense. As long as you don't run into a cutscene.
If I do, I'll just call you over, hit record real quick, and we'll just get the dialogue done.
Shell grew up during an early 1900s adventure novel. Early 1900s, as in... Is that like Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys? But those are detective mysteries. I'm trying to think of what examples it would be.
It was interesting how many, like, detective-y things there were.
Like
and
the
how,
Famous
like,
Five. I've never read the Famous Five.
There we go. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Is this some kind of ground bait?
Something like that. It's super concentrated, though, so don't use too much.
Lake Ellipse is pretty deep. I don't know how useful it'll be, but I'll pass it around to the other fellas.
Great. Oh, and when the tide comes in, it can bring monsters from the main sea with it, so be careful.
Oh?
Monsters don't usually make their way inland unless there's a big storm, but we'll be careful. And thanks. How does she know that?
Well, weren't we just talking about the monsters before?
Yeah, but the bait brings in the monsters. Like, she hasn't tested this. She just chucked it all in the...
She just made it, but maybe the bait will be strong enough to attract larger creatures.
It just seems like the kind of thing she should have done some field testing with.
Yeah, boss did mention it.
Let me know how it goes.
Wait. Oh, I guess when the tide comes in. Yeah, you're right. Okay. It wasn't the bait.
Yep.
Agatha? Why are you staring at me like that?
I was just thinking about the little troublemaker I used to know. I wonder where she went.
That's kind of mean. I did this because you asked me, you know.
Sorry about that. That's just my way of saying you have my support.
I hope so.
I don't know. What fun adventures did you have as a child where you encountered odd animals? I mean, you know I'd catch snakes.
Yeah.
I caught a snake.
We had snakes, but I've always been specifically kind of leery of them.
Well, you grew up in areas where the snakes could be poisonous.
Where they were quite poisonous. Yeah, so that was not the kind of thing.
I grew up in an area where they were all harmless.
Oh, that's just water.
Though I did feel bad once I caught a garter snake, and my cousins were coming over to see it, and my dad came over and wanted to, lightly touch it on top of its head, and it ended up biting him.
Let's see.
But garter snakes don't really have fangs or teeth.
So
now I leave snakes alone, though. I don't want to upset them. We've been seeing a number of pretty ones around here. They have stripes on them.
Yeah.
But they're on
orange
another type
sides or blue tops. There's been a variety. They're kind of pretty.
But they are still garter snakes.
Yeah.
Just the types of garter snakes that live around here.
We saw one that was probably blind, which was kind of sad.
Unless it was molting like your mom said.
Could have been. Seems like that would be a bit of an issue. But whatever. Let's see.
People are asking, snakes only bite dads. I think he was just, when you have a large finger just slowly reaching out towards your face, it probably served as a target.
You were probably already freaking the poor thing out because you were holding on to it.
Yeah.
And then in comes something beyond just holding it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true.
Because wild animals aren't like pets. They're not used to being handled.
Nah, very, very true. I do remember the one time I saved a dragonfly from a spider web. That was pretty. It was a green dragonfly. Imagine bright lime green. It was so pretty. But it had gotten caught in a spider web. And I was able to get it out, but it had webbing all around its wings. And I was able to get a fishing hook because, you know, we were at the lake, so we had some fishing tackle around still. And I had the little tiny fishing hook, and I was able to slowly, one by one, pick at every single strand of the spider web. And eventually it set its wings free. And it was able to flutter them a little bit, and then it flew off into the sunlight. And I was just so happy seeing that little dragonfly make its way out. I had never seen a bright green dragonfly before. All the ones at the lake are those iridescent blue and brown ones that are likely the same species. What's an animal saving story that you have?
Me?
Yeah. I saved a rabbit from a cat. That's another one.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've really done a whole lot to save animals, unfortunately.
Maybe you've never found animals in danger. Is that it?
Yeah, generally. And I don't think I was ever in that many positions to be doing so. Let's see. I'm trying to think of this specifically.
I mean, have you ever saved an earthworm that was partially drawing out on the sidewalk?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Okay. Like, that's one example of a way you can save an animal.
But, like, that's... Admittedly, I'm probably worse about it nowadays, but I guess that's just because I'm not around.
Mm-hmm. I also haven't seen any earthworms. We've only seen giant slugs.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more averse to trying to, like, move slugs than an earthworm, because slugs are kind of sticky, and I'm not... Well, it's not that I'm gonna get sticky, it's that, like, I'm afraid I'm going to hurt them trying to remove them. Like, as a kid, I'd pry my slugs off of branches and kind of roll them around, and then realize that, yeah, their slugs are kind of... Or snails are kind of boring. They're going to be looked at, but they're not really... creatures that you play with, but that's fine.
I remember there was this giant snail that I found, and it was inside some kind of garden. It was an interior garden too. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was down in Florida or something. But I reached my finger out towards it, and it glomped onto my finger and was just sucking on it like a lollipop.
They absolutely do that.
Why? Like, what are they getting off of
tasty.
you? Yeah, maybe.
I mean. Human oils, skin, even just like... I mean, I don't know. Poor snail's having a housing crisis. Ha!
Oh, you mean for slugs versus snails?
Yeah. Well, no. So I had, they're referring to me prying my snails off trees and whatnot.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean... We had an indoor greenhouse with a bunch of snails in there, and they were really cute.
Mm-hmm. As cruel as it is, sometimes I would just like to hold my
eyes.
Well, no, I'd have my finger out near their eye, and yeah, then they'd retract them.
It was... I will admit, I would do the same thing. It never seemed to bother them. What the hell?
Who are those knights from a neighboring kingdom? What is this? No, are they ghosts? They don't
armor.
They don't have knees. So yes, they are living armor.
That's cool.
So are they from the ancient Clint civilization? That
might be, yeah.
I like their helmets.
Yeah, they've got a pretty cool design, actually. But yeah, I would definitely, like, poke all four of the little eye stalk things. And...
Well, actually, the top ones are eyes, but are the bottom ones...
I have no idea what the bottom ones are.
Like, feelers? I thought that the bottom ones were feelers.
tame the armor and wear it. I really want to play a game like this. Sandbox, full alchemy system, farming elements, monster collection. I know the Rune Factory games kind of have that, but like they're so dated. I'm kind of disappointed they're doing remakes and remasters of the older ones when, like, I don't know, they could make a new one.
So, where is this grove? Okay, more bubble grass, but interesting. They look like Luna moths.
Yep.
These pixies.
Fairies! Die!
Okay, what are they called? Illuminated Sylph. They're not very durable, are they?
No, they're pretty killable. Easier to redo the old than have it make something new and have people complain. I guess. That's a tragedy, though. Like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of fine to remake certain things. I just know they remade, like, either it was a mobile game or, wow, that tree had stuff on it.
Ooh. Tons of stuff.
Wow.
Just gonna keep antagonizing fairies.
For a bit longer. I'm just going until my inventory fills up. I've already gotten everything I think that I needed, necessarily. Not that I specifically need stuff. We're definitely gonna have to go on more material gathering trips.
I'm trying to think of other animal saving stories. I mean, there's the spider. I've already told that one several times. I suppose I don't need to reiterate it. The giant Phidippus audax, they're so cute. There was the mouse in the basement, baby mouse. That was a cute one too. Let's see.
Let's see, you like the old ruin factories. I have never played any of them, and I'm sure I will like them. I'm probably gonna play. They're remaking the last one for that they made for the Wii. It's just my problem with every remake is there are very few remakes that actually really live up to, like, modern standards. The only one that I can think of in really recent memory would... Okay, there are two. Disgaea 4's HD re-release on modern platforms was pretty good. The other one I would say that was pretty good was, as far as remakes go, the Link's Awakening remake was amazing.
Did you ever have a toad friend when you were little?
I mean, I bought frogs, but they didn't live long. I bought frogs, they had tadpoles, and then they all died within the span of, like, a couple of days.
You didn't feed them well?
No, we fed them.
They had the right temperature, or...?
I mean, they were PetSmart frogs, so, in retrospect... Go figure, they didn't live long.
Poor frogs.
Disgaea was a PS3 game, so it's not too old, is it? It's 7 years old. That's fairly old. Like that's as old as I think the
Wander, why do you have to make me sad?
Oh, my frogs?
You killed all the frogs?
I didn't kill them on purpose. Maybe we weren't ready for them, but no. The moral of the story is don't buy animals from pet stores. I mean, I told you about my friend who bought, like, a pair of female hamsters.
And they were pregnant.
Both pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. No, I just meant, you know about the toads and the toad holes, right?
Yeah.
And how I've been to numerous places. I mean, my old house had them, my neighbor's house had them, of toad holes, and the toads would come out in the evening or in the early morning, and you could pet them.
So, when I lived in... oh, I actually do have a saving animal story now that I'm thinking about it. When I lived in New Mexico, it was not a good environment for toads or anything like that. The weather was too extreme. It was very rainy during the summer because we were in the we're in the mountains.
Yeah.
And then it was very snowy because we're in the mountains. Oh, and cutscene.
Oh, alrighty. And then guess what? Agatha looked at me all bright-eyed and said that I have her support.
That's amazing, Ryza. I think everyone in town must recognize your talent as an alchemist now.
You think so? I guess I don't mind if they all want to show me respect.
I hope you get over yourself long enough to warn the fishermen about the monsters in the tides. It's possible the fish vanished due to a newly arrived monster.
I know that. And I did tell them, as a matter of fact. If you cross the lake, don't forget to check for shadows beneath the water's surface.
I'm doing my best to put all of your pointers to good use, Lila.
Ryza, you here?
Don't just come barging in like that.
It's the bait, your bait.
What?
You gave the fishermen that bait, right? Well, now they're all getting super huge hauls.
Oh no. You know what this is going to do? This is going to wipe out the fish population, and then there isn't going to be fish, a fish supply next season. You've just contributed to overfishing. Huh? So it actually worked? I mean, of course it worked.
That's fantastic, Ryza. You're going to be famous for sure.
Yeah, they even started asking me to make more for them. I had to explain I was just your friend. Very impressive. It seems you've become a full-fledged alchemist, Miss Rysalind Stout.
I hope Mr. Valence hears about this, so he'll let Claudia start coming here again. Or maybe it's supposed to be like an
Oh, that's right. The bait isn't the only reason I'm here. Ryza, Mr. Valence wants you to come and see him.
He does. I wonder if he has another task for you.
We've already come this far. I'm prepared to see it through. I'm ready for everything. Well, anything.
We're going Claudia's house right away. So, Shell, I think I have bad news for you.
What?
I don't think we're going to find the plot tonight. I think once again, Session 5 finish. Yay! We made a friend. Ugh, my dad might be drunk, but he's still so damn strong.
What? Did your father hit you?
Yeah, he's kind of difficult. He's basically the total opposite of your overprotective dad. Seems like things have been getting worse lately. What caused the fight this time? I think it has something to do with me hanging out with Ryza and starting to build a reputation.
Huh? So it's my fault?
No, not exactly. He just doesn't understand why I'm getting more famous, so he gets mad and... well, whatever his reasoning, there's no excuse for it. Maybe. But I kind of like being able to piss him off like that. Anyway, can we drop it? The whole thing is kind of dumb.
Hello, Mr. Valence. You asked to see me, right? So I'm assuming...
That's right. I have one more task for you. Your final test.
Father, do you mean it? Is that really your final task?
Heck yes! Claudia, the day has finally arrived!
Not so fast. You haven't even heard what it is yet.
Oh, right. So, what is it?
Your first task was intended to observe your skills as an alchemist myself.
Huh?
Next, I accepted Mr. Brunen's suggestion in hopes that the village would come to trust you. So that's why you wanted us to clean up that junk. The issue with the fishermen didn't come from me. Your actions earned you the town's full support.
Well, yeah. It's just kind of happened. I just realized I mixed up the well and the yeah.
Now that we return to the original question, are you fit to look after my daughter in my absence? Here we go. So, what do you want us to do? Monsters have been appearing in greater numbers on the mainland road we use as our primary trade route. Monsters? I would like you to follow the road north until you reach a fork, then race back here.
Race?
I'll give you the details later. This will be dangerous, so prepare yourselves and meet me at the mainland port.
Okay, we'll prove we can do whatever it takes. Ooh, where's this gonna take us?
To the plot?
The plot? It looks like it. Everyone's gathered. Hey, is that Agatha and Boss? What the heck is he doing here?
Wait, don't tell me this is this is what you meant by race. That's right, I've chosen 2 boys your age to compete against you and test your strength. I've asked one of your village guardians for help as well.
Damn it, Boss.
You've been letting your fame get to your head. This is the perfect chance for me to put you back in your place.
I only agreed to give you a guardian because you two don't stand a chance against them without one.
What? Ha! If that's what she thinks, I guess I can't complain. Looks like you need a handicap, huh? Yeah, just you watch. I'm going to embarrass all of you and force you to eat those words.
I'll be a fair and impartial judge. The rules are simple. Follow this road north until you reach a fork. There's a hut there. Carved on the door are warnings for travelers. Write down the 3rd warning you see. This is a race, but you're sure to run into monsters. You'll also be judged on how you deal with them.
The ultimate goal here is to secure this route. I expect you all to take this seriously. We're going first. We're going to take out all the monsters, so feel free to take your sweet time. Oh, I see. Agatha isn't joining them. They just get a goon.
Mm-hmm. I asked their chaperone to keep them in check, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen.
Agatha, when do we get to go? They're getting a bigger lead every second.
Don't be impatient. I'm tracking the start time for each group. Oh, I already told Boss this, but... What is it? You'll notice some ruins along the road at some point. Several merchants have reported the presence of a large monster in that area. Be on the lookout.
A large monster? Could it be...
You don't think it could be the same one from the Pixie Forest, do you? So now we're allowed to start.
Yep. I kind of wish this was like a timed event or something like that. Again, sandbox. I think the reason why I'm so hung up on this whole sandbox situation...
Are we supposed to race?
Yeah. I just want to see if those pixies show back up. I don't actually think we're supposed to race. There's no...
Otherwise, they'd show a time limit.
Yeah, there's no visible time limit, and...
Most likely we're going to have to save Boss and Lumbar.
Yeah, exactly. I would be 100% down with it being a race with an actual time limit and actually...
What's that dinging noise?
I think it was like a critter thing.
Okay.
Kind of like that critter.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just have little bug sound effects in certain zones.
All right, let's go.
I can't wait any longer. We need to hurry up and catch up to Boss. They just told us not to rush, didn't they? We need to watch for monsters. Be careful. Real careful.
Yeah, totally. Be careful. As fast as possible.
So have we found any plot other than Ryza's yet? Nope. Special attacks. Oh, we know about this.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're still trying to please Claudia's father so that we can actually convince him that she's safe with us, but beyond that, there's rumors of monsters, large, immense monsters afoot. Okay, are you alright?
Yeah, I think so.
You're just gonna be gathering, aren't you?
Little. New zone, new resources.
Much of the same.
I mean, we need more Iches and flammable barks. Holy crap, trees.
What's that over there,
dump
though?
them on you, though.
The green.
Oh, that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a jump point. We don't have that yet, though.
Oh.
Remember the cardcaptor Sakura-looking staff thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't those the ruins that we need to investigate?
Might be.
To the right.
I'm looking around. I want to find landmarks if I can find them.
True. That one has an exclamation. Oh, that's because it noticed you. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, if there was a time limit for this, I'd be changing my pace. What game did? Oh! Final Fantasy VIII had some really neat time limits.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right. Like, depending on how fast you dealt with, like, the first real boss, or, like, any of the main bosses and so on and so forth, you'd actually get, like, your hunter rank would go up, and that would determine, oh.
Whoa! Is that a shiny?
Yeah, it's a metal
shiny
slime.
Silver Pony. It's so small.
I didn't even realize it just looked like a resource on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like its luster. Whoa, what happened? What's it doing? Is it supercharged?
It's charging up an attack.
Oh.
It's special attack. Silver Pony Ball. What is this, Dragon Warrior? Not quite, considering that thing was killable, didn't run away from us, and didn't give us a stupid amount of EXP. That was a false silver slime. Or metal slime. It was silver.
This is the wrong way. I shouldn't stray too far right now.
It would be kind of amusing if you could just straight up lose the race, but, like, didn't matter because you went on, like, a crazy adventure.
Nah. Oh, there's that tower in the distance.
Yep. That's cool.
Town ruins. The old town ruins. There's still functioning lamps.
There we go.
You just
Smack
wanted to
in the
smack
booty.
it.
Yeah, it reduces its defense and gets me some other stuff. It's probably not super necessary, but whatever. So what's a game that you'd like to see properly remade?
Remade?
Yeah.
Well... The thing is, many of the ones that I played don't really need to be remade. Unless you mean a continuation of the series or something along those lines.
As silly as it sounds, I would love a Let's Go Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
Because I really liked Let's Go Eevee.
Well, really, if they had ported many of the Pokemon games to 3D, that would be nice. I really like Generations 1 and 2. And Gold and Silver was nice because you actually could go back through the Johto region as well.
Yeah. I wish they did that more often. I realized that,
well,
like...
Kanto and Johto, that's what I meant.
Yeah. I realized that they've pretty much given up on that kind of high-quality Pokemon, but boy, that would be fun. What else is there? I would like some more Dragon Warrior monsters or Dragon Quest monsters.
I would like good BioWare games.
Well, I mean, maybe... Hey, you should... Michelle, you were talking about, like, wanting to play some games for yourself, yeah?
Right, and how
Why don't you play Dragon Age Inquisition? It's fully voice acted, so you wouldn't need me around.
But does it... The thing is, Dragon Age 4 is coming out, and I thought that was tied to the other characters. Like, you need to play the other games, not that one.
Which characters, though? Probably Dragon Age 2?
It specifically... I know it specifically deals with the bald elf dude.
That's from Inquisition.
He's from Inquisition? But he was in the other games, too. So did he really just carry over to all of them? It just
It
makes me feel like you have to start with the beginning. The thing is...
So, Solus was not in the other one.
Solus wasn't?
Yeah, Solus was only... You're thinking of... so Solus was in Inquisition only. You're thinking of the main character from Dragon Age 2, who carries over from 2 to Inquisition.
Ah.
And the plots from 1 and 2 are advanced in Inquisition.
Yeah, the thing about it is, it always seemed like a dark fantasy.
Inquisition was fairly lighthearted.
Okay.
I would say skip Dragon Age Origins. It's very long. It's very...
I've seen the beginning played multiple times. My roommates from college were trying out different combinations of races and classes to try to figure out what they wanted to play, and...
Yeah.
I just remember the advertisements for that game being blood, blood, more blood. Blood after every battle. I was like, okay, that's an interesting feature.
Yeah, Dragon Age Origins is tedious and unrelentingly gritty. Yup. And it just wasn't fun. Like, I did the Dwarven campaign, which is kind of neat, but
I
I
always
just, like...
wanted to play through Mass Effect. It's just sad because the third act is...
Speaking of, there might actually be a good time for that.
What?
EA is bringing, as far as I know, EA is bringing its games back to Steam.
Okay.
And I believe that might be a Dragon Age, or not a Dragon Age, a Mass Effect 1, 2, 3 plus DLC combo pack.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say wait until we can get all those DLCs, because...
I just want them to come out with another IP. I know that they worked on Anthem, but Anthem just didn't fly. Literally.
Apparently they're still somewhat committed on maybe making it work, but it's going to take a while. I would... Oh, shoot. There was a treasure map fragment back there. Damn it. I would gladly play Anthem if they managed to Realm Reborn it.
I would love to have something akin to BioWare, but more colorful and...
I mean, that would be Outer Worlds?
But I want a traditional fantasy, though, at some point. I like sci-fi, but a lot of the sci-fi games end up being, you know, evil corporations,
it's
planetary, true. You know what I mean? I would much rather have magic and high fantasy every once in a while.
Oh, this sucker hurts.
Really, I just like games with extensive character creation and choice, especially with dialogue and consequences for your actions.
Oh, this sucker hurts.
I would like them to make more Okami, maybe. I heard that there were rumors of potential future Okami.
Yeah, another one?
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm also looking forward to Metroid Prime, and I'm glad that they're going to be making another Metroid Prime game. I just loved playing Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 using the Wiimote. I really like Wii targeting. Didn't have to worry about joysticks.
Yeah, but that's what VR is nowadays. That was a tough bugger, but it was very much worth killing.
My first award-winning cosplays were all Samus suits.
Oh, what? The silver Puni Ball is like the worst thing I've got? That sucks.
Samus armor. I especially love the music in those games. And just the aesthetic of everything. Yeah,
Kami needs a proper port. That was on the DS, right?
Yep. Yeah, they put it on the DS.
Mega Wyvern? Yeah, he's back. I want to fight him again, but he's good EXP.
That's a game I want to play.
Which one?
I want to play Star Wars Lethal Alliance. I know it's probably not...
That was the first-person shooter, yeah?
No. It's the only game I know of where you play as a non-human character as like the main protagonist, and it was Rihanna Saren, the Twi'lek. She was like an operative of some sort, or a rebel spy. She was infiltrating a lot of Imperial bases and such, and she had this little droid companion that was like a little probe. And she would do all of these acrobatic feats and such. And I think it was part puzzle solving, part platforming, combat. I don't know. I just always wanted to play that game because I absolutely love the Twi'lek species in Star Wars and always wanted to play one as the main character. And I did in Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. My player character was that, but...
See, as Wanderer Shell played Xenoblade Chronicles. I have played Xenoblade Chronicles X and 2. And a little bit of Torn of the Golden Country. However, there is a remake or a remaster, like a proper HD remaster for the Switch coming out sometime next year.
And we had bought Xenoblade 1 and played a little bit of it, but then...
We played it when we moved into our apartment in...
Back in New York?
Yeah, back in New York. But I stopped just because...
You started doing YouTube.
Well, yeah, and it was one of those that I wanted to wait until I was actually good at commentary before I picked it up, because that is actually my favorite JRPG of all time. And if we're getting a proper HD version, then we'll play it together. And I'll probably drag Shell into any future Xenoblade game as well, just because they're really good. Unless it looks like it's going to be fan service the game like 2, because hard pass.
Just the fact that they had that one character, well, 2 characters rolled up into one, and they're both like, we want to be with you forever.
Like, it was bad. It was still a decent game, and I enjoyed it, but, like, they just needed to get rid of Pyra. And everything about Pyra. And all of the hentai characters, because why? Why would you hire hentai artists to design all of your characters? That's weird, yeah.
Oh.
Like, all of the creepy... side characters. Anyway, I can't believe you caught up already. Didn't you sprint all the way here or something?
Actually, we walked at quite a leisurely pace. What does that say about you?
Are you calling us slow? Even Agatha said speed isn't everything. You're not going to beat me. Looks like he's starting to panic. If nothing else, that makes this whole thing worthwhile.
What are you talking about? If we don't win for Claudia's sake, this whole thing is pointless.
That's true. Let's just hurry up and get this over with. Now, where are those warnings? Here we go. Third one says, wanderers bound south must avoid the path less traveled.
Avoid the path less traveled? Really? So that means we have to go on the main route?
Huh? Isn't that a line from some nursery rhyme?
Yeah, that takes me back. Rest is something like Devil's Field to the west, Dragon's Castle to the east. Castle to the east? Is that referring to Meteor Castle? That's the biggest set of ruins in the area.
Nobody's ever actually seen a dragon before, but Embel still hasn't gone to check it out.
No one in the village could ever go there. Or would ever go there. That's even more off limits than Devil's Field.
And the tower you want to visit is even farther beyond that.
Yeah.
But we're still not strong enough to explore the Devil's Field, let alone the tower.
Anyway, we got the message, right? Avoid the path less traveled. Now let's head back.
You sure are a lot more excited than when we first started out on the task tower.
I probably should have done it in a voice because she was doing that half-lidded gaze of hers. Like, now you're so much more enthusiastic, Tao. That kind of thing.
Ah! What was that?
Some kind of explosion. Let's check it out. Wait, it's too dangerous. We have no idea what it could have been. Now's not the time to be afraid. What if it has something to do with Boss's group? Fine, I guess I'll just have to pray that nothing happened.
Uh-oh, they were all downed.
And they're all dead.
Is that a giant wyvern?
Yup. Ah, what the heck is that?
Boss! Lumbar! What did you do?
Oh no, is that a dragon? Is it an actual real dragon?
So they were calling it a dragon rather than just the wyvern? We have to help them.
Help them? How the heck are we going to help them?
I like its color scheme.
I like its design. That's a cool dragon.
It spotted us. It's coming this way.
We have to fight it. No, we have to run away, but we also have to help them. We have to run. Ah, I don't know what to do. A what?
It's just
Boss
turning and
fight.
leaving. This is the second time a monster has done that with this group. Is it something about her being an alchemist or something about them?
Tao just doesn't look appetizing.
But really, is there some special lineage or something going on?
No, it's just the alternative to win the boss fight, lose the battle. Just skip both. Like, seriously. We've only fought one legit boss fight so far. And it was a unbeatable weasel monster in the beginning of the game. I'm mad. Did it decide to spare us? Oh. It flew off towards the castle. Sorry. Just like the nursery rhyme said. So it really does live there.
Never mind that for now. We need to rescue Boss.
Right. Hey, you idiot still alive over there? Wait for me. I can't move my legs.
Hurry up. We need to get Boss and the others back to Agatha before the dragon comes back.
Okay. You know, I'd like to play a game like this where every member of the town is actually recruitable and has different strengths and weaknesses and little sub-stories. So maybe smaller town, smaller cast, and depending on, like, what level you are, what choices you've made, certain characters are easier or harder to recruit accordingly.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be kind of fun. So, like, if at this point you get kind of sick of Tao, but, like, Boss is kind of trying to prove himself, you can recruit Boss instead and kind of go down the boss route instead. I don't know, that would be really cool.
Ryza seems to favor Boss, even though she pretends to hate him.
Well, they were good friends when they were kids.
When they were kids, yes.
Sounds like Suikoden Wander. Yeah, I should play... I need to play Breath of Fire 3 and Suikoden at some point.
Oh! Suikoden. I remember that. I thought the artwork was pretty for it.
Both are fantastic series. Time...
I'm glad you're all okay. You have my thanks for tending to the wounded. As a fellow guardian, I'm mortified at how easily my colleague was defeated.
Hey.
Don't feel too bad. We only survived because the dragon decided to take off on its own.
We saw it fly off towards the castle, so Lent thinks it must be the one for that old nursery rhyme. So, are they all okay? They don't seem to be too badly hurt, but...
They'll be fine. The explosion slammed them to the ground and knocked them all unconscious. I'm sending them to the doctor as a precaution, but I don't think you need to worry. Thank goodness.
I'm sorry about this. I offer you my most sincere apologies.
It's not your fault, Mr. Valence. She's right. If it hadn't been them, that thing surely would have attacked some other traveler. Since it was a race, the groups were closer together, which actually made it safer, if only slightly.
Regardless, Ryza Stout, you have my heartfelt thanks.
No problem.
Even amidst such a disaster, you chose the best course of action and saved everyone involved. I can imagine no one better suited to look after my daughter.
Then...
This may not be the best time, but you've passed the task. Will you protect my Claudia during our stay here, and raise her to be the dragon ass-kicking lass that I hope she'll end up being? By the way, kick Tao out of the party. He sucks.
Of course. You can totally count on me.
Claudia, we did it! Yes, it's all thanks to you, Ryza. Oh, and Lantern Tao, of course. Thank you, everyone.
Don't mention it. Tao didn't do anything. Hopefully you can rein her in a little and keep her from dragging us to so many dangerous places.
Speaking of which, we'll have to meet the rest of the village to decide what to do about this dragon.
True.
That dragon showed up right around the same time as the other monster. Is it just a coincidence? Claudia joined your party. Woohoo! And now you can get rid of Tao.
Change your formation. Now that you've got more team members, you can change your formation. Lets you change their positions in battle and also set their default battle positions. I have 3 allies in battle, so choose your teammates wisely. If all team members get knocked down in battle, it counts as a loss, even if other members are available. Consider the synergy between each member when you're putting together your party.
Now, don't you notice that there was a gold or a silver ring around them? Does that denote if they're supposed to be a frontliner?
Oh, interesting. It's been tracking her little side quest the entire time.
Yeah.
That's cool. I guess let's watch these go by for a second. So she's a healer. Hey, that's good.
I love the little chibis.
They're super cute. This game's got style to it. Even if the plot is molasses. Like, I feel like the race to the runes should have been one of the main first plot points of the entire game.
Mm-hmm. But they wanted to get you making alchemy.
Yeah, and
off the bat.
I appreciate that pacing, but this goes back to my
alchemical concoctions.
My point of wishing this was a bit more sandboxy, and like having a bunch of these things doable in parallel at different times with slightly different outcomes, depending on like who and what and when and where. So like, yeah, the race to prove yourself to recruit Claudia is one of 3 main available side quests, along with, you know, move out of your parents' house and maybe reach the tower or something like that.
You probably haven't moved out of your parents' house. You're probably just running off during the day, and your parents are going, "What's Ryza doing?"
Yeah, that's fair. Well, that's cute. Anyway, get out of here. So she's a supporter. He is a tank?
Huh?
Oh, element resist matters too. This is a yearly series. The studio can't afford to spend time on that kind of game. I know, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I would rather these studios actually take the time.
Oh, wait, yearly series? So do they make a new Atelier game?
Yeah.
Or do they make it?
So there are multiple Atelier games that go in the
Are they all alchemists?
Yeah,
or...
they're all alchemists, and the mechanics are all very similar, but that's usually kind of where it stops.
But it's just a new story and a new protagonist every year?
Yeah, not always. Sometimes the protagonist will carry over between games. I know they've had like 2 to 3 in a series.
This is the first part for Ryza.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the first time with Ryza. I don't know if we're going to get more than this.
Ooh, a chain vest.
Yep. Let's see. Can I make a practice flute? There we go.
Wait, was that weapon called a crepusculum?
Yeah, there's some weird weapons in here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where is it? No. I see. Claire Empathy, Colossal Edge. Yeah.
Hey there. Crepusculum.
Weird. Yeah, you're right. Okay. I'm gonna save game because it's end time. I've got to do some. Yeah, it's very late. I got to do some item management, but I can do that later. I'm gonna walk in. outside for a
It's funny
second.
because now I'm more awake. I want to see what's happening.
I know.
It just takes a dragon or wyvern
We finally
to fly
reached
across the screen, and then I'm
what I
suddenly
would
invested.
I would say we've finally left the tutorial and the prologue, and now it's time for the plot, which is what chapter are we on? Everybody's Changing, which I think is chapter 4. I could be wrong. 3 to 4 games, and then kind of a new character. Yeah, I mean, one way or another. Wow, we're 12 hours in. Oh, that's so silly. I forgot how to quit.
We've proven that we're an alchemist. We've finally gained the town's approval and Valence's approval. We've saved Boss, which is going to be a chip in his shoulder. Like, you could tell he was squinting his eyes at the prospect that we were saving him.
No, I'm just going to go back to my point that I was saying. I wish they went on a 2-year cycle and made these games, like, a little bit deeper. Because, like, I can see so much potential here, and it's actually decent, except for the plot pacing. And, like, if they just finagled it a little bit more with a little bit more time, oh boy, it'd be a pretty good game.
I want to see if Ryza's going to catch a big fish. She just cast...
Not right now.
She cast the line into the water.
Well, I'll let you watch for a bit, because I must go in search of something other than the plot.
Unless you press the button and then she catches a giant fish.
Maybe, but I doubt it.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway. Good night, everyone. This was a lot of fun. Which always surprises me a little bit, because I honestly was like, we'll just play this game for like a 2-off kind of situation. Maybe like an hour or 2. And then the answer is no. No, we're doing a full series on it, because apparently we can't help ourselves.
We want to know what happens next.
No, we want to know if anything happens at all.
If anything happens. Well, now we know that there's more monsters afoot.
Yeah, and I'm actually really interested in seeing once we get there.
There's interesting locales in the distance.
But yeah.